was quick. It happened fast. If it wasn't the drug, it was the lifestyle that I ended up getting addicted to. Running around with my brother, around with gangs, selling drugs, using drugs, hustling on the side to make ends meet. At the age of 13, I think when I picked up my first drug, I was addicted. Like it sounds, an epidemic is something, it's widespread. There's a lot of people getting clean right now. It's a movement. My dad divorced my mom when I was a young age, and when I was less than a year old, so I never had any father figure. So when my brother got out of prison, I was seeking that father figure, and he was living the lifestyle of running around into gangs, into drugs, selling drugs, doing drugs, and I followed in his footsteps and just carried on from there. My addiction led me to end up with congestive heart failure. I ended up being hospitalized originally for blood infection brought upon by my addiction, and being hospitalized for that, I ended up having liquid in my left lung. I had severe ammonia, and I remember the next thing I remember is my sister holding my hand, talking to me, and I couldn't respond to her, and I didn't understand why, because I was in and out of consciousness, and I found out that I was in a medically drug-induced coma for 3 weeks because my heart wasn't working on its own. That was one of the lowest points in my addiction. I would like to say that, at that point, I turned around and I led a new path, but that wasn't my story. Within a couple of days of being released from the hospital, I was doing meth again. About a year and a half later, I ended up in the hospital again with congestive heart failure. My heart was failing even more, and was put in a medically drug-induced coma once again for, ironically, another 3 weeks. And after that, I still continued using. The turnaround point was a couple years ago. I was facing some prison time for some old charges that had snuck up on me. At that point, I knew I was going to prison, and I wasn't in a coma or anything like that, but my heart was still failing. I was bedridden. I was on oxygen with a walker, and I got sentenced to my prison sentence. And when I went to prison, that's when I decided to surrender. And in the prison, I chose to be in a TC program, which is a therapeutic community. I decided to go there to be away from the criminal element that's around the prisons, and less likelihood of drugs being around. I stuck on that path by choice, and during that time is when I made a decision within myself that I was going to do whatever it takes to recover. A lot of people think that when you're in prison, you're going to prison, you don't have a choice, you got to get clean. That's not reality. In the reality, there's just as much drugs, if not more, within the prison system there's out here on the streets. So I knew going to prison, even though it was going to be in front of my face and I wasn't going to be around it, I could still choose to use, and that was the date that I chose to get clean and to stay clean as I was going into prison. My recovery family, I call them family. It is a community, but this community here is a family to me. We help each other on a daily basis. Sometimes it's more profound than others. Sometimes it's just reaching out to them, in a time of need. They hold me accountable, and I do the same thing for them. I know that I'm not alone. There's people around that are willing to support me and to love me and to just help me through struggling times. And there is a community of people that are not addicts, that have been affected by, addiction, that are willing to help other people that are going through the same things too. Becoming a recovery coach has brought value to my lived experience. You know, times are changing, and my lived experience can bring hope, and I can relate to other people that are struggling with addiction or mental health disorders or co-occurring disorders. I can relate with them on a better level and bring some type of hope to them. Especially in this small town of Moses Lake, resources are limited. I would hope that the public can open their eyes to an ongoing problem that's not going to go away tomorrow, and it needs to be addressed accordingly. You know, the more resources and less stigma around addiction and mental health disorders, the more likely that things are going to get better and we can further make recovery the epidemic. I'm a cook at Sherry's. That's the first job I got after getting out of prison. What I'm doing in my community now to give back, me and some other people in recovery have started a donation drive that we're actually going out and helping out the homeless community here in Moses Lake. You know, we've already went out once. We brought hot chocolate to them, blankets and jackets, scarves, gloves. You know, with the help of people from the community and friends of ours donating to the cause, we were able to go out there and just spread some love onto the community. No matter how hopeless you may feel, that there is another way. And if a person like me was able to get off the streets and turn his life around and become the person that he is today and making the strides that I'm making to a better future, so can you.